Hello everyone, how are you? I believe all of you are healthy and happy and are learning a lot. Well, today we are here with the second part of understanding the text of the chapter, the Browning version, which is a play written by Terence Rattigan. We came to know that how Taplow was waiting for his teacher, Mr. Crocker Harris, and because he did not arrive there, he met Frank, who happened to be a science teacher, and they struck up a conversation. They started talking about the school, the customs, the rules and regulations, as well as Mr. Crocker Harris. And that is when we come to know that how frustrated Taplow was for being there on the last day of school when everybody else was playing golf or doing something else. And he talked with Frank in a very friendly manner. And that is when he started telling him that even after doing some extra work for Crocker Harris, there was no surety that he is going to get anything out of it. So we are going to start with that only. Frank, know what? Then Taplow, imitating a very gentle, rather throaty voice. So what is happening here? Taplow is here imitating his teacher. And imitate means to copy. As you can see in the picture above, the little girl is trying to copy what the elder one is doing. So, imitate is copy. My dear Taplow, I have given you exactly what you deserve. No less, and certainly no more. Do you know, sir, I think he may have marked me down, rather than up, for taking extra work. I mean, the man's hardly human. He breaks off quickly. Sorry, sir, have I gone too far? Yes, much too far. Sorry, sir, I got carried away. Evidently. So, carried away means carried away in emotions. So, Taplow was too much frustrated of the entire situation. And that is when he simply said that the man is even a human being, troubling others so much. But then he realized that he was standing in front of a teacher. And that's when he said sorry. Carried away is being swept away in emotions. Then Frank says, evidently, and then he picks up a newspaper, but then he says, Taplow. And let's see what he says then. Yes, yes, sir. What was that Crocker Harris said to you? Just repeat it, would you? Taplow, imitating again. My dear Taplow, I have given you exactly what you deserve. No less and certainly no more. So Frank prompted, incited Taplow to imitate his teacher, and that is very wrong for him because no teacher should do that. Prompting the child to abuse another teacher, to imitate another teacher only for having fun, that is completely wrong. And if Frank is doing it here, it clearly shows that how jealous he was of Crocker Harris. There could not be any other reason. Well, moving forward, Taplow, he imitated again. Then Frank, looking severe, not in the least like him. Read your nice, Aeschylus, and be quiet. Taplow, with dislike. Aeschylus. Frank, look, what time did Mr. Crocker Harris tell you to be here? 6:30, sir. Well, he is 10 minutes late. Why don't you cut? You could still play golf before lockup. And when he said that why don't you cut, cut here means to not go, especially to a place where you should be. So Frank here is actually suggesting Taplow that the teacher is not here, the teacher is late, just run away, just go away and play whatever you wish. And then Taplow is really shocked. Oh no, I couldn't cut. Cut the crock? Mr. Crocker Harris? I shouldn't think it's ever been done in the whole time he has been here. God knows what would happen if I did. He would probably follow me home or something. So, as you can see, Taplow is completely shocked. He could not dare to cut the crock, that is Mr. Crocker Harris. He could not dare to go against the instructions given by Mr. Crocker Harris, and that was never being done by anybody. It means that Mr. Crocker Harris had a very strong command over all his students. Nobody dared to go against his wishes. And Frank was pretty surprised. I must admit I envy him the effect he seems to have on you boys in the form. You all seem scared to death of him. What does he do? Beat you all or something? Frank doesn't know how to take the students in command. Good Lord, no, he's not a sadist like one or two of the others. I beg your pardon. A sadist, sir, is someone who gets pleasure out of giving pain. So, according to Taplow, he is a sensible boy, I believe. And that is why he realized that Mr. Crocker Harris, no matter how strict he was, no matter how many punishments he has given, but he was never a sadist. He wouldn't give punishment to the children only to have fun out of it. If he was giving punishment to anyone, there has to be a proper reason behind that. A sadist is one who takes pleasure in inflicting pain, punishment, or humiliation to others. But Mr. Crocker Harris was not a sadist. Do remember that. Indeed, but I think you went on to say that some other masters. Well, of course they are, sir. I won't mention names, but you know them as well as I do. Of course, I know most masters think we boys don't understand a thing. But, sir, you're different. You're young, well, comparatively, anyway, and you're science. You must know what sadism is. Frank, after a pause, good Lord, what are our schools coming to? So Frank is pretty surprised that, the boys, they are very well aware that who are the sadists and who are not. And these are young boys, they are teenagers. They very well know that who was punishing them for a proper reason and who wasn't doing that. Taplow. Anyway, the croc isn't a sadist. And before moving forward, I would like to mention that, this particular word croc, it appeared twice earlier. But every time Taplow was correcting himself after a pause. Every time he would say croc, then there was a pause, Mr. Crocker Harris. Because he realized that he was indeed standing in front of a teacher and he shouldn't call Croc, he shouldn't call Mr. Crocker Harris as Croc in front of a teacher. But when the teacher was not at all interested in correcting him, that's when he decided, okay, let it go in the flow. And this time he did not correct himself. And with this, we come to know that the teacher was indeed making the mistake by not making the child realize that he was doing something wrong. Well, moving forward, that's what I'm saying. He wouldn't be so frightening if he were, because at least it would show he had some feelings. But he hasn't. He's all shriveled up inside like a nut and he seems to hate people to like him. It's funny that I don't know any other master who doesn't like being liked. And this is one of the most amazing aspects of Mr. Crocker Harris, that he is all shriveled up inside. He appears to be feelingless. He has no feelings and nobody could crack him up. Nobody could get to know what kind of a person he was. And he didn't like being liked also. That is the most amazing aspect of his personality. Everybody likes being liked, especially the teachers. And Taplow was surprised that how come Mr. Crocker Harris was so different. Shrivel up, as you can see in the picture, like a nut inside. So Mr. Crocker Harris had a very strange kind of personality. And it was very different indeed for the students to get to know him and do something so that he could be happy. Then Frank says, and I don't know any boy who doesn't use that for his own purposes. Well, it's natural, sir, but not with the croc. Mr. Crocker Harris. Mr. Crocker Harris. The funny thing is that in spite of everything, I do rather like him. I can't help it. And sometimes I think he sees it and that seems to shrivel him up even more. So what we learned over here, that finally Frank realized that the boy is calling Mr. Crocker Harris as Croc and he did not correct himself. And that is when he took the initiative of doing the correction. So he has some sensibility left with him, thankfully, Mr. Frank. And as far as Taplow is concerned, he is quite a young boy, simple boy, I believe. And that is why he must have seen the genuine aspect of the personality belonging to Mr. Crocker Harris, and he could not help but like him. And that surprises him also. So Frank is surprised that how everything is turning up, and that's when he said, "I'm sure you're exaggerating." And exaggeration is a part of speech, verb, and it means that to overstate or magnify beyond truth. As you can see in the picture, and the sentence goes like this: Sydney exaggerates sometimes when she says that the fish she caught was as big as a dump truck. So the fish happens to be pretty small, but the person keeps on exaggerating like it was a huge fish, like a big dump truck, though it wasn't. So we will come to know that how the situation would be about the exaggeration and all in the next session. But let's close it with this quote that children learn best when they like their teacher and they think their teacher likes them. And it's such an amazing, wonderful environment to be there, that the teacher likes the student likes the teacher, and they know that they like each other, and that brings out the best in them. And that's what we need in the schools and the classrooms. So we will go through the last part of the chapter in the next session. For now, let's close it, and thanks a lot all over again.